Hello, today I feel like doing a bit of an experiment. I want to see who can make a better cookie, me or AI. So I asked ChatGPT to write me a chocolate chip cookie recipe, and then I took my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe and I'm gonna make both to see which cookie is better. I'm gonna have people blind taste test so that they aren't persuaded by like how it looks, because my cookies kind of have a bit of a distinct look. But anyway, let's get into the cooking. Oh, before we go, I am gonna have both recipes in the description. I'm using a recipe from Tasty, this chocolate cookie. Oh, so good. And then I'll put ChatGPT's recipe in the description if you want to try this experiment for yourself and see which is better. With all that said, let's get to cooking. I'm about to start making the ChatGPT recipe, but this recipe I'm gonna do half of just because it's easier to half, where the other recipe requires 1 and 1 egg yolk for the other recipe, and I can't do half an egg and half an egg yolk. So I'm gonna halve the ChatGPT recipe and do the whole of my chocolate chip cookie recipe, which may be biased because I think my recipe is gonna be better, but it is what it is. I have my softened butter here, so I'm gonna add that into my bowl. You can do it, butter. Good job. I'm a tiny bit concerned because this is what my brown sugar sounds like. We're gonna roll with it. I broke the bag. Duh, if you're stabbing brown sugar, you're gonna break the bag. How to soften brown sugar quickly. Dad, my brown sugar's a rock. Okay, apparently I can put this in a microwave safe bowl with a damp paper towel on top and microwave for 20 seconds intervals, and that should work. Because I've seen things where people put bread in it or marshmallows, but I cook a lot for friends who are vegan and gluten-free, so I don't like doing that because of cross-contamination. So let's just put this in another glass microwave safe bowl and see what I can do. I'm getting brown sugar everywhere. I'm gonna have ants. I'm just a mess today. Well, that's in the microwave.
Fat, which I've warmed in the microwave.
I am going to dust brown sugar off my laptop and work with the regular sugar. This recipe calls for 3/4, so I'm gonna do 1/4 and 2 tablespoons. White sugar, more white sugar. My parents are having a meeting back there, but I asked if it was okay for me to keep filming, so if you hear them talking, that's why. I'll just have to talk louder. I'm gonna do 2 more 20-second intervals and then I think it'll be ready. But while we wait, I'm gonna start creaming together our butter and sugar. I could do this in a stand mixer, but it's all the way over there and I just made a mess with the sugar. Oh well, no one likes cookies that are too sweet anyway. As I was saying, I could go and get my stand mixer, but that's all the way over there. It's a South African stand mixer, so it uses different power. It's a whole thing. I've also learned I'm cooking now early in the morning so that I am not cooking and getting self-conscious when people are coming to the house later. Learning. Okay, this needs a knife.
And let me see what you have. A knife. No!
I've decided instead of using my wooden spoon now, I'm going to switch to a Danish dough whisk, which just I think will be better when creaming these together. We have our hot brown sugar here. And it's not rocks. Yay! And now we cream. Maybe I should have gotten my stand mixer. I must do this until light and fluffy, so I'll see you at light and fluffy. I don't think this is light and fluffy, and I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna follow both recipes as best as I can, because I could sabotage the ChatGPT recipe so that it's not as good, but I wanted to have a fighting chance against me. Why did I work out arms this morning? This is an arm workout in of itself. Also, I have a theory. This recipe looks really similar to the recipe that's on the back of the Nestle bags, which is reminding me of that Friends episode where Phoebe is trying to recreate her grandmother's famous chocolate chip cookie recipe, and it's the recipe from her grandmother's friends in France, Nestle Toulouse.
You know, I may have relatives in France who would know. My grandmother said she got the recipe from her grandmother, Nestle Toulouse.
What was her name?
Nestle Toulouse.
Nestle Toll House?
You Americans always butcher the French language.
Phoebe, is this the recipe? Yes!
This looks light and fluffy. Let's move on to adding our eggs. I don't measure vanilla when I cook the other cookies, so I'm not gonna measure vanilla now. So, a measure of vanilla with your heart. An egg. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Oh yeah. I'm gonna call that mixed. Now adding the dry ingredients. I love cooking, but now it's just dawning on me how many dishes I am actually gonna have to do for this recipe. In this bowl, I'm gonna mix together the flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt, but making sure to half it because I don't wanna do the full amount of the dry ingredients. You get it, you get it. This requires math. I just graduated high school. I didn't wanna have to use math ever again in my life. Okay, so 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, which is 1 cup and 2 tablespoons. So 1/4, 2 tablespoons. I know it was a proper thing with the leveling. I don't want to do it. Also, this cat is so cute who sits in here, and I didn't want to dirty another dish. One of the banes of my existence when I cook are baking soda boxes, so baking soda's in a tub. Did you guys know baking powder can have gluten in it? I didn't know that until fairly recently. Crazy. And comment down below if you know the difference between baking powder and baking soda. I do know, and I will say that in the next cookie because we gotta leave some forms of mystery. And salt. That was about a teaspoon. Now we whisk this. I'm not gonna dirty another whisk, so I'm just gonna use my 1/4 teaspoon measure. Now we gradually add the dry to the wet. So I'm gonna do a little bit and then mix. A little bit more and whisk. And guys, look, I'm smart. I put a non-slip thing down so that I, one, know where the bowl is for the camera, but then also so that the bowl doesn't move and make that horrendous noise. Now the only horrendous noise you have to hear is my voice and my sniffles. I still have a sniffly nose. I was sick like 3 weeks ago and I still have a sniffly nose. Hello? You are not supposed to do that. These cookies better be good if you just broke my Danish dough whisk. This is why I love a Danish dough whisk. They're so much easier to clean. Don't break! I'm looking now. This is the exact same recipe. The only difference is the 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, or the 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. This is just baking soda. So these will probably be a bit fluffier, but otherwise it's the exact same recipe. So ChatGPT using Nestle Toulouse. Growing up, we were allowed, when we would make this with my mom, we were allowed to eat as many chocolate chips as we were old. So whenever I got a year older, it was really exciting because then I could eat another chocolate chip. So 1 cup of chocolate chips going in. And we'll fold these in with wooden spoon. It doesn't say this, but the first time I typed it out, you can It said for better cookies, chill them, which is true. For better chocolate chip cookies, you always want to chill them before you bake them. You can chill them from about anywhere from half an hour to overnight. You just have to be careful because over like I think 2 or 3 days it starts to get unhealthy because of the raw egg. So just do your own research when chilling cookies. But I'm gonna go put this in the fridge and we'll get started on my chocolate chip cookies. Like I said, I'm going to be using Tasty's chocolate chip cookie recipe, but I switch the order around a little bit because I make the brown butter first and then let it cool and then I do the other stuff. You're actually dying, so I'm gonna go plug you in and switch to my phone. So I went and gave Vloggy a little charge. While I was charging, I made the brown butter, which is, oh, it's so good. It's a labor of love because you really do have to stir it a lot and watch it because you don't want the milk solids to brown, but it's really, really cool. So you melt down the butter in a saucepan and that causes the milk solids and it causes the milk solids to separate from the butter, and that is what you toast and brown in the bottom of the pan. So I did that. That is cooling in the fridge. And then I mixed together our dries, which is bread flour and regular flour. Bread flour gives chocolate chip cookies a bit more chew, so that's why there's bread flour in this. And the baking soda and salt. No baking powder, just baking soda. And then I also chopped up some chocolate for our chocolate chips aspect. It is chocolate chips, but chocolate chunks melt much better, and I'm personally a chocolate chunk girl over a chocolate chip girl. But with all that debriefing said, let's get started with the sugars and the brown butter. Big bowl this time. Can you see? Let's level you down a bit. Ooh, there we go. Better angle. Love this camera. It just has like a little leg that I can just like flip down. Anyway, this requires 1 cup of sugar. So let me get our sugar from the microwave. Wants 1 cup. So let's get a cup. Also, all those big chunks just melt now. So don't put marshmallows, don't put bread in anything for cross-contamination. Just pop it in the microwave quickly. This did require dark brown sugar, but I didn't have dark brown sugar, so we're using normal brown sugar. I could add a little bit of molasses because that's what makes brown sugar brown, just molasses, but I don't feel like adding it, and that's math to figure out how much molasses to put in there. So we have 1 cup of brown sugar, then we need half a cup of white sugar. There's all like half cup indicators on here, so I'm just gonna do that. Typically I am a lot more professional. I don't know why I'm being so lazy today, but I think it's because I don't want to dirty unnecessary dishes. Then we're gonna add our vanilla. That seems good. I could have used the fancy stuff of like the vanilla bean bourbon paste, but I'm not gonna do that because we're gonna make this fair. Along with the browned butter and all the other interesting ingredients, this is another interesting ingredient. This is espresso powder. Now this will not make your cookies taste like coffee. You'd have to add quite a lot, but this is just going to enhance the flavor of the chocolate, and it really does make a difference. I highly recommend watching the video from the Tasty recipe because it's so interesting because they did so many testings. It's so interesting to see how different things play in cookies, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to add our brown butter and whisk. Look at this liquid gold. At the bottom are the milk solids and then water and then the clarified butter, which is often known as ghee, but this like brown clarified butter. The water's in here just to make sure that we have 1 cup of brown butter slash like fat, and I have to get all these milk solids out the bottom because this is where all the flavor comes from. Oh yeah. When I ate dairy, this was like the best. But your brown butter, if you want to upgrade any of your baking recipes, brown your butter. It makes so much difference. And now I'm taking the big Danish dough whisk. I'm giving these guys a little mixy mix. Once again, we have to achieve light and fluffy. This one is gonna take a while. This isn't that light and fluffy, but it's the best we're gonna get. So I'm gonna go on to add our egg and egg yolk, which movie magic I already have around here. And the reason we need the brown butter to cool and our eggs to be room temperature is so we don't scramble our eggs. Because that's a big problem that I've faced when I've made churros in the past, of scrambling my eggs. So just be careful. So our egg are now incorporated and we're gonna do a third of the mixture at a time. Yeah. I should probably put my hair up. I'm gonna have buff wrists after this. With all this mixing, I'm gonna have the strongest wrist in the whole Wild West. Now it is time to fold in our chocolate. So this is a bit less than 5 ounces. They say 5 ounces, but I had a 4-ounce bar of chocolate chunks, dark chocolate. And half a cup of our Old Faithful unsalted. Did a little bit more than a half cup because we are missing an ounce, but it'll balance out. Now I'm gonna take one spoon and incorporate these guys in. Oh, this looks so good. I mean, just look at how gorgeous this is. So this recipe says to cover it and put it in the fridge for at least an hour. So I'm gonna cover this, put it in the fridge for an hour. While this is in the fridge, I'm going to bake the ChatGPT cookies and let those cool. Then I'll bake these, and I'm just gonna do some like aesthetic B-roll type footage, because not really any commentary I'm gonna say while baking cookies. And I'm also gonna be busy with other stuff because it's lunchtime soon. So let's go put this in the fridge and bake the ChatGPT cookies. So these are the ChatGPT cookies and these are my cookies. So I'm gonna recruit my parents to come and try and see which one they like best. Okay, he is ready. I will give him his first cookie. Okay, you can try your cookie. Don't keep your eyes closed because I don't want you to be biased when you try it. So this is cookie number 1. Okay. What do you feel? How does it taste? Okay, and now here is cookie number 2.
That's bigger and fat.
Oh, sorry. My mom's on the other side tasting the cookie as well.
Chocolate chip.
They're both chocolate chip.
I prefer the second one.
You prefer the second one? What about you, Mom? The second one?
Without a doubt.
That was mine! Woo! Suck it, AI! So it is later. My mom and dad just tried the cookies. I didn't get it on camera, but my mom actually said that she didn't really like the first one because you could taste the baking soda or baking powder. So that's one point to me, I guess. But I won the cookie bake-off. I had so much fun doing this. I loved trying it and seeing where the recipes differ. So if you have any other ideas of what I should have ChatGPT give me a recipe for and I go against it, I do just want to preface this, I'm not the biggest fan of AI. I don't like how it's taking away jobs, I don't like how much power it uses, but I do, what is the word I'm looking for? It is a part of society now, it is part of our world, and I just wanted to do this just to show that maybe AI isn't as great at everything as we think, but I am not dismissing AI. AI is unfortunately a part of our everyday life, And yeah, so if you like this video, you could like this video if you want, you could subscribe if you want to, and let me know what else I should bake. I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.